That's Elton John. And I have heard of that, by the way. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it somewhere. We're about 10 seconds away from the noon hour. Welcome. I can still legally say it's the Mornings with Ed show on the all-new Voice of Laguna. Expecting a fantastic and beautiful day today. Delighted to have you aboard wherever you happen to be listening from across the country or across the globe. Welcome. I hope it's equally beautiful for you as well. As we've been talking, this is an important conversation about to happen. I'm glad you're here for it. Richa Puri is an attorney who's been exclusively practicing immigration law for over 20 years. Additionally, she's been involved with SAKI. SAKI is an organization back east that assists victims of domestic violence. She conducts monthly clinics pro bono where she provides legal advice to clients that have immigration concerns. And out here on the West Coast is Sahara, which is very much the same thing. Please welcome in for the conversation this morning, Richa Puri. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It is great to see you. Thank you for making it in today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this.
Yeah, and I gave you the best view that we could possibly give you in radio.
I may not leave. I may just set up shop right here.
So we've been talking ad nauseum about the changes to what we grew up knowing was the treatment of migrants and immigrants, and since January, things have changed substantially. I want to get into that. I want to talk a lot about specific items in our immigration laws for both employees and employers as well.
Absolutely.
But I want to find out what got you into law to begin with.
You're going to laugh, but Law and Order, SVU, is one of my favorite shows ever.
There you go.
And I need to go and I need to go seek justice. And then I went to law school and I realized it's nothing like Law and Order. I think immigration kind of fell into my lap because when I graduated from law school, September 11th happened. So a lot of jobs kind of disappeared.
Right.
And my now husband, right here next to me, happened to know someone that worked at an immigration law firm.
Okay.
And so they said, just come and see what you think. And it's history from there.
Okay.
I fell in love. And then surprisingly, I never asked my parents their immigration journey until then. My parents are both from India.
Right.
And then I finally asked my parents, hey, how did you guys get here? And it turns out that my entire family has immigration history. And I found out about all of it. And it really just promoted me to keep working and helping. And then I started working with SAKI. And I do all sorts of immigration laws. So not just employment, not just naturalization, but a lot of work to help people that are using their immigration status to kind of keep them hostage. Things like that. So it's been 20 plus years of interesting times.
Right.
But I love it.
So I come from a family of immigrants. I'm the only American born. My family came here from Argentina. They escaped. My father was a journalist. My mom was an educator, and they had to leave Argentina when the government was overthrown. So in the late 50s, they got here.
Yep.
I was born a few years later and could not imagine our family having been treated like families are being treated now. It is so different now.
It's a very difficult situation that we're in, yes.
Right. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. We faced this two presidencies ago.
Right.
We faced it for the first time, and we're facing it again. I don't think it's going to get better until it gets worse.
It's much worse now than it was during the 45th presidential administration.
It is. I have lots of theories on why that may be, but we'll keep that for our conversation off the air.
Okay.
But no, it's worse, and it's more targeted.
Okay.
From day one, it's been immigration has been a target. I don't know why that he started off with this, but he's going to make it very, very, very difficult again.
Okay.
He's going to make it worse for the people that are already here, that are already here, that are trying to make their status correct, that are trying to become legal. He's blocking those routes now, when before there were some. There's certain things that are becoming more obvious, because while there were laws that always allowed this, for example, people are very irate by the mass deportations.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Understandably. But the law has always said if you have an order of removal against you, that ICE can come and take you and deport you because you have an actual order.
Right.
But that wasn't always happening
Right.
in the mass that it's been happening now.
Right.
I don't think the issue is he following the law on that. I think it's how they're doing it.
Right. There's
Right?
a cruelty to it. There's a
They're-
mean-spiritedness
correct.
to it.
They don't care
Right.
if you are stuck in the group that they've come after. They don't care if you're the actual person or not.
Right.
They've been giving an order to say, pick up, round up, put on a plane. They're not doing it with due process. They're not doing it with any sort of humanity. I don't even want to say kindness, because kindness is not part of their job. It's just
Right.
part of being a human being.
Right.
Right?
Right. But you mentioned due process. You said the two most important words that we've been neglecting in this since January
Yes.
is due process.
Correct.
I think I want to start with the employer and what the pressure that employers feel. Because now Immigration and Customs can serve what are known as I-9 notices to verify the identity and employment authorization of certain individuals. And shortly after being served with these notices, they have to deliver copies of the employees' I-9s to ICE that can later inform raids on that employer.
Correct.
What if employers refuse to cooperate?
So they can, but ICE will show up.
Okay.
It's called auditing of the Form I-9.
Okay.
That is not something that has not always been there. But the way they're implementing it is the problem. So before, when ICE, if they had a reason to, or if they just wanted to do a random check, we've had employers that once every 10 years, someone says, okay, you're on E-Verify. Can you please show us the actual documentation for A, B, and C? Fine. But they do it, again, humanity. Right? They come and they do it with kindness and they do their job, but they don't go above to be abusive.
Right.
Now what you're finding is they're doing it because they don't want employers to hire foreign nationals. So it seems, and again, this is not a law, it seems that what they're doing is to deter them from the process that they're doing. And I-9 verification, that's part of the law. So if an employer hires someone, they have to fill out Form I-9 for the verification. That's fine. Their documentation should be in order.
Right.
And 99.9% of the employers have it in order. If not, if they're a smaller company, they're learning and it's happening.
Right.
But what's going on is that, let's say hypothetically someone's on an H-1B and the renewal is processing. The I-9 allows for that process and allows for you to have an approval that's expired with proof of this and plus proof of this. That's where the inhumanity is taking place. Well, no, now we're going to get this person and deport them. Well, no, the law doesn't allow for that. No, this is what we're going to do. And it's a crossing of the law.
Right.
It's an abuse of the law.
It's a neglect of the due process that we just spoke of.
So, and it's a neglect of a lot of things. But yeah, it's I don't even think this issue is due process, to be honest with you, because due process to me, in my mind, goes back to the removal issue, where the law says if you have a green card or you're in this country in some sort of manner, if you do not have an order of removal already against you and someone picks you up to put you in removal, you by law are entitled to see an immigration judge who will make the decision.
Right.
That's what's being violated by ICE coming and saying, we don't care, we're putting you on a plane, and they're deporting people. You've heard it in the news.
Right. So we're seeing people with green cards.
With green card,
Getting deported.
there was a U.S. citizen that got deported.
Yeah.
You know, there's U.S. citizen children being deported. I mean, God, you're going after kids now?
Right.
You know, he did it last time, but now you're putting him on a plane and sending him to a foreign country away from the parent that's here in the United States. Come on.
Right.
Right? Again, back to humanity. There's no humanity in what's happening.
Right.
But yes, employers are having, I'm sorry, I'm skipping
No,
around
that's
here.
okay. That's
employers are having a hard time. And in addition to the I-9s, the employment-based visas are going to get harder. He did this last time where he was adding additional scrutiny that's not part of the law. So the law is very specific. You have this, this, and this. You are eligible. And then they make it discretionary, right, about approvals. But really, if you meet elements A, B, and C, there should be no reason, unless it's something of good moral character or something of that nature or a violation of law. But we're finding that, again, same thing that happened last time. We're getting these enormous, ridiculous things called requests for further evidence that the evidence they're requesting has nothing to do with what we're actually filing.
Right.
Right. So that, again, and it's very difficult to respond because
it's a fishing expedition.
yeah,
It's
and
a
then
fishing expedition.
and if you don't respond which some of us have done, I'm not going to lie, like, why do you need this?
Right.
It seems like you're going around the law and circumventing something. What is the real issue? You can get a denial. And then who's out of luck while you're trying to fight for justice? The person who needs to work here doesn't have a visa now.
Right.
So you have to kind of figure out where your battles lie, right? So a lot of people are letting things go. And I say a lot of immigration attorneys, we have to let things go for the betterness for our clients, right, for what's in their best interest, which is very unfortunate for the law and our fight, but it makes sense for them.
So just yesterday, 2 more federal judges blocked the administration's use of deportations under the Alien Enemies Act, saying that wartime power shouldn't be used. The use of the Alien Enemies Act violates constitutional protections that give people here in the U.S. due process.
Correct.
And we'll be saying those words a lot here throughout this conversation. And the Trump administration hadn't shown that the U.S. is under invasion by any hostile foreign power. The judge, though, said, or one of the judges said, that migrants could still be deported via more traditional immigration authorizations. What is that process like, and has this administration already violated the constitutional rights of deported migrants? And what might be the remedy for those migrants down the road?
Oh, goodness, remedy. So to answer your first question, we're not at wartime.
Right.
Right? I mean, we're at war with the administration and the rules of this country, but we're not in wartime. For migrant workers, there have always been immigration laws in this country. And one of them is you need to have a valid visa to be here and to work and to live. And I think that's pretty standard with immigration in most countries, right? So when let's say you have someone who entered with, let's say, an H-2B visa, which is a visa to work at a farm or agriculture, and they're seasonal. And so you've got the 3 months, and then now you have to leave, and you come back. Quite a few people do that. Right. But let's say they decide not to
Especially
leave.
here in California.
Absolutely.
We see that a lot, yes.
And let's say they decide not to leave. Now they've overstayed their visa. That's a violation of the visa. It's a violation of status. Can they now be deported from this country? Yes. But the process is no one can just come pick you up and take you and put you in another country. The process is they serve you with something called a notice to appear, which puts you in court. Right? It's kind of similar to the criminal process. They charge you, then they say, okay, let's go have a judge decide on what to do at this point, right? So they give you a notice to appear, they give you a date to show up in whatever immigration court, wherever you are, and you go in there and you plead your case. So let's say that you don't have a case. Let's say you have no remedy.
You did overstay.
You overstayed. You don't have a remedy of getting a green card. Let's say that's true. Well, the judge will say, you know what? Again, we're going to go back to humanity. The judge will say, I'm going to give you something called voluntary departure, which allows you to collect your life, and you have this much time to leave the country on your own accord. Right? Or if the person cannot do that, or let's say there is a criminal aspect involved, like a DUI or something, right? Then the judge might say, well, I'm going to order you removed. You have this much time to appeal it if you have a reason. If not, you have these many, and then you're going to end up being removed from the United States, okay? But let's say you have someone that's here and they overstay their visa, but they have a way of legitimizing, right? Let's say they have a way of getting a green card. By presenting them to the court, you now give them a chance to fight their case, and they may win. And they may leave with a green card, and eventually they're going to have their children and their grandchildren. They'll be U.S. citizens, and their life here is going to be proper. But with him in violating this due process, he's taking people that have legitimate cases and saying, we don't care. Now, this is not just happening with court. This is happening with people that have overstayed visas but have already applied for a green card or in the midst of applying, and ICE will come and say, nope, you violated the status. They're like, well, we have a green card application filed. Here's proof. And they say, we don't care. They pick them up, they put them in jail, and before you can even find your client, they're gone.
Right.
That is where the violation of due process, in my opinion, is occurring.
Right. I saw where a college student was walking in to take the examination for citizenship and got grabbed. So and I think this is kind of a rhetorical question. Do you fear that when all is said, and as an attorney,
Yes.
do you fear that when all is said and done, that we're going to have thousands of people that are unaccounted for? We don't know
Yes.
where they are, where they went. We don't know because they're not keeping track, are they?
It's a fear I've had since the last time he was around. If you remember the last time he was separating children
Right.
from their parents, God knows why, and I believe there was several reports of him separating nursing children from their mothers. There's still no account for most of those kids. Nobody knows where they are. Their parents have been deported, or their parents are here and they're looking for their kids, and there's no record of where those children are. Do I fear that's to happen now? Absolutely. I fear that people that have been lawfully here following the laws, but happen to be from a country that is quote unquote unacceptable to this administration,
Right.
and they go in for naturalization, and before they can actually become a citizen, they say, sorry, we're going to now pick you up, because it's happening.
Right.
You hear about, without going into too many facts, I guess.
Oh, no, please.
We have clients that when we do a consultation, I will say, I think you should wait out this administration before applying for citizenship. Not because you have any issues,
Right.
simply because of where you were born.
Right.
And they could have had green cards since they were children here, right? They could have.
Right.
But I'm so scared that you're going to go in to get fingerprinted, and then we'll never see you again.
Right.
Right?
That is a genuine fear. And again, as I said when I talked about my family, I would have never thought that.
Yes.
So there's so much harmful rhetoric being thrown around about immigrants in general now,
Yes.
mostly from one side of the aisle. And this administration has tried to expand the definition of criminality to make it seem like they're keeping their promises. But as the Social Security system, as it stands right now, it really requires immigration to stay solvent. And it also, that our immigration system requires modernization, not fear-based tactics that are rooted in xenophobia.
Yeah.
I want you to solve the entire world's problems for me right now.
I'll do it right now.
How do we modernize the system? And this would obviously have to happen after the administration. What needs to happen with the system itself?
While I would love to say we need to change this and we need to change that, the bottom line is that we're going to have immigration rules.
Right.
Okay? And we have them for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
Can this country let everybody in and say, great, we're going to take care of everybody?
Right.
I mean, in theory, that's what we would love, right? We would love for that to happen. I mean, I fight for justice. That's what I do. I would love to take everybody in. But when people say these immigrants are coming in and taking my jobs, I have so much to say about that.
Right.
But what I'm going to say is, you can't say that when you barely graduated high school and the person coming in is a neurosurgeon. My guess is if that person doesn't get the job, you're not getting it.
Right, there you go.
You haven't done the work to get that job.
Right.
But there is jobs in the fields if you would like to go into agriculture, but the person who's saying that isn't going to go into the agriculture field. So what you're complaining about is not the actual issue. You just want to complain, right? Can we all work together to change the rules? I think there's a couple of things that we had in the past that if those came back around, it would help millions of people who would then pay more in taxes, that would contribute more to Social Security, that would contribute more to our schools, that would make life better for the next generation. I don't know if I'm allowed to drop this, if I can't tell me, but back in the day, in the year 2000, there was a law that was passed called 245I, INA 245I, that basically, it just said that if you were here by a certain date and someone filed, so it's not like you just automatically get it. Someone had to file a certain type of petition for you. It had to be approvable upon filing.
Right.
So they're not just saying anyone and anyone can do it.
Right.
It has to be a legitimate reason. Then you can pay something called a penalty fee, and you can then adjust and get your green card when, if you don't qualify under this, you couldn't.
Right.
The government made God knows how many millions of dollars off of this. Okay, USCIS was able to pay all their employees. and it served the benefit of millions of people. And those millions of people are contributing into our Social Security. They're contributing. They're paying their taxes. They're doing everything right. If something like that could come back around, I think it would help with what people are deeming the illegal immigrants who are stealing the jobs. Right? I think that let's give them a way to become legal. Let's help them, and in turn, they're going to help this country. This country is based on immigration.
Built on immigration.
Yeah.
I mean,
so and don't tell me this administration, half of them are married to immigrants of some kind, and their families are immigrants. And why are you targeting people who are not doing anything in this country? And then I love when they say all immigrants are criminals.
Yeah. Well, that was day one when he came down the escalator in 2015. That's how he started, was with that.
All immigrants are criminals.
And he attracted a certain element of this country that had long been hidden under the plywood. And when you pull the plywood out like cockroaches, they spread. Yep. So my fishtailing right into the next question here is that this fear of the immigrant, and did the former President Biden exacerbate that fear by what they took advantage of, saying now open borders, everyone's coming across the border openly? Should the Biden administration have done more with the borders?
So I'm going to answer this by kind of not answering it. Okay. So can I honestly say, we know what we know that the news has told us. Do we know what actually happened? We don't know. I'm going to go back to President Obama for a moment. Okay.
I wish we could.
So do I. President Obama, if you're listening, Mrs. Obama, if you're listening, he tried to pass a lot of laws to help immigration. He was stopped at every possible turn. So finally, he issued the executive order of the stateside waiver. Okay. So now going into the Biden administration, and I'll tell you what Trump is doing with that in a second. But Biden administration, we don't know what was actually being done, but we do know what the Republicans were saying. I think just in everything, as everything in life, you take it with a grain of salt. There's always three stories: this side, that side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? I don't think we'll be able to close our borders. I don't think that we want to close our borders. We're going to be shutting out amazing people, right? And we're going to be shutting out people that need us. Do I think that there should have been more stringent rules? Well, let me ask you and the people listening. Someone comes to you and says, I'm going to die if I go back to my country because the gangs are doing this. Or are you really going to say, no, I'm not going to help you?
Right. So you bring me to the question of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They've painted a narrative of him being an MS-13 gang member, and the reality is that in El Salvador, his family was strong-armed for money because his mom ran a little business, and they had to move several times to keep the kids away from the gang. They sent his brother Cesar ahead to the United States, and then they assert, the U.S. government is now asserting that he's a terrorist and a member of MS-13. No matter the case, he's still entitled to that due process, that sticky term that we've been using. And that's a case with a spotlight on it.
Right.
And again, the only arrest he ever had here in the United States was over pot. It was at a Home Depot parking lot. He was looking to get work. He was working every day as a laborer, and that's where that's here in town. That's where you go, the Home Depot. So he got busted for pot.
Right.
So not a terrorist, not an MS-13 gang member, but that's a case with a spotlight on it, and we all know it. It's the observable case. I'm so wondering how we ever intend to keep track of those names that we're not aware of. And that to me is the scariest part of all.
It's very scary. And to talk about this gentleman, I would love to know if Mr. Trump or family has ever gone to El Salvador and ever gone to see what MS-13 is doing to the youth of that country. I've heard stories. Now I'm going to get all emotional. I've heard stories. And it's horrible. And if even 1/10 of that story is true, why would you not run? Why would you not send your kid? I have 2 children. If that was happening to my kids, I would ship them to wherever I can get them into another country. Right? And so, excuse me.
That's okay. There's Kleenex right there.
Thanks. How are we going to keep track? He's not going to.
Right.
Is someone going to keep track? I hope so. I hope our history books keep track. He doesn't even know where those kids are from 4 years ago. You think he cares about this prison?
Which brings me to the next question. I didn't do that. Beautifully stated. Thank you. Since not just Kilmar Abrego Garcia's rights, but the rights of others, the rights of people that you've spoken to, since their constitutional rights have been violated, does everyone that was wrongly deported have a good case for a lawsuit in the future against the government of the United States? And my God, how long would that be drawn out until that would happen or come to fruition?
In my heart, do I believe that they do? Yes. And I think everyone would agree that they do. But one of the requirements is jurisdiction,
Right.
which means that they need to be here or someone needs to be here to start the lawsuit. And I believe that's what the ACLU is really trying to focus on and do for us now.
Right.
People that get deported, that, oh, my bad, you got deported. You shouldn't have been deported. Well, it's in their record. So if they try to come back, their fingerprints will show a deportation, even though it was not legitimate. So what are you going to do about that? How are you going to remove that? Lawsuits as far as this administration was told you have to let this person back in. And what did they say? They said, no, we don't.
Right.
Make us.
And thumbing your nose at the judicial branch. And the executive branch is doing that, thumbing their nose at the judicial branch.
Absolutely.
What's the remedy for that?
So if it wasn't the president, there's lots of remedies.
Right.
Because it's the president,
Right.
who are they going to turn to? The Supreme Court? The Supreme Court has been put there by this president.
6-3.
So are they going to go to the president?
Right.
What's he going to do? He's going to pardon himself and say, oh, my bad. We're heading down a really dark hole. We are heading down a very, very dark hole. Do I think in the future, once this president is no longer there, can the people that have been wronged look for a way to have their rights reinstated? Yes, as long as it doesn't get worse than what we already see.
Right.
Right? So everything he says he's going to try to do, let's see what actually comes to fruition. But if something does, but in the 4 years that we still have, what are these people supposed to do?
Right.
Right?
It's only been 107 days, by the way.
My God, what's going to happen next 4 years? So, he's planning something, because I think you've heard about this registration thing that he's doing.
Please tell us,
Okay.
tell the audience about that.
So there's something called alien registration that he wants every foreign national over the age of 14 to, quote, it's called register. Right. He did this back in the day too, but he did it for if you were from certain countries, and of course they were all Muslim countries.
Right.
We needed you to register then. Now he's just doing it with anyone in this country who is a foreign national, not a U.S. citizen, over the age of 14. He wants you to do this process. But really what he's looking for, because everyone who comes in nowadays with a visa gets thumbprinted, right?
Right.
And when you file certain applications, you get biometrics, so you get your fingerprints. But he's looking for people that are illegally here or who have not filed an application. People that have been here for 30 years but with no applications filed, and there's no even notice that they're here. He is basically saying if you don't register, it could be a criminal offense. So it's going to be a misdemeanor, right? And there'll also be civil penalties if you're caught. Not only do you have to register, you have to carry proof of your registration with you at all times as long as you're over the age of 18. Does that not sound familiar to something back in the day?
1937 Germany, and yeah, it's exactly. Where are your papers?
Yeah. So I won't use the words, but you know what I'm talking about.
I'll use it. It's a Nazi move. Okay.
And that's what he's doing.
Right.
And then he's using that against people. So, for example, the question is, if you don't register and you have a legitimate green card application, are they going to deny it because you didn't register? But if you register and your green card application is pending but not approved, they will deport you because you technically have no status.
You're in a lose-lose.
So back to what I was talking about, the stateside waiver that President Obama gifted us.
Right.
those are still going on. Right now it's taking about 4 years for the waiver to get approved, right? In that 4 years that your waiver is pending, even after, until you actually have the interview, you don't have status, but you're on your way to status. But if you get fingerprinted, he's not accepting, or I should say the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, is saying, well, we don't care that it's still pending, and we don't care that it's taking us 4 years. We just know that you don't have status, so now we're going to deport you, right? Order you removed. We have fear because I have cases right now pending where we're ready to go. We're ready to go to the interview, but they have to leave the country for the interview. Mm-hmm. That was the process for the stateside waiver. And the question is, if they do go because of him, are they going to be allowed back? The law that was put into effect says yes, but we don't know. We don't know what they're going to do now. So now those people who followed the law,
right,
who got the help from our President Obama, are now like, well, what do we do? And my answer is, oh my gosh, I don't know. Because I can say, no,
right,
law's on your side, and that's the truth.
It should be, yeah, right. It should be on your side. The law is
on your side, but he's not following the laws.
It's like playing Monopoly with a group of people, and the banker, the guy is a cheater. The banker's just cheating, and it's like there's no winning because that banker, whoever's got the Monopoly money at their side, is going to win.
Is going to be.
So in response to the Department of Homeland Security's announcement of a stipend for people choosing to self-deport, the American Immigration Lawyers Association has cautioned people that no one should accept that first without going to an attorney, getting good legal advice from an immigration attorney, a qualified representative. And that brings me to asylum. You mentioned asylum earlier for people that desperately need it. When you're applying for asylum, it literally is a matter of life or death.
Correct.
And if you get it wrong and send somebody back to where they were persecuted, that's a death sentence.
Correct.
So beyond the question that I asked you earlier about having a good case for a lawsuit, is there criminality here?
From our government?
Yes.
If you're asking me opinion?
Okay. Yes.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
We're going back to that beautiful word of humanity.
Right.
There isn't any.
Right.
Right. So, asylum is tricky. Asylum is when you file for asylum, it's not. I mean, this government is making it seem like anyone can come in and say, "Oh, the government in my country is going to hurt me. Please help me." But that's not it. Do you know how much proof you have to bring to the table?
Please explain to our audience the requirements.
You have to fall under what they call a classified. It's a class. You have to be under a certain classification. Excuse me, and it's race, gender, political opinion, etc. And then you have to prove that the government is actually prosecuting you or attacking you, harming you because of that protected status.
Right.
Or they're refusing to protect you because of that. So, for example, which is, I don't think people understand, let's go back to El Salvador.
Okay.
In El Salvador, it is common knowledge. Boys of the age of 13 are made to join the gang. And if they don't, they get beaten up and harassed? Sure. But what they don't advertise as much is that they go after the sisters and the mothers.
Right. Which is what happened with Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
There is gang rapes, there's beating up, there's taking away of finances, and the country knows it, the police knows it, and if you go to the police for help, you're not getting it, and nor are they coming to help you because the gangs run that area. Then the question becomes, well, can you go somewhere else besides your area? And in El Salvador, the answer is really no. Yeah. Okay. So you have to have proof that you were targeted. So it can't just be a young man coming in saying, help me, gang attack me. They have to actually have the proof. Right. And a judge reviews that proof. So now are you saying that the judges are fools, that they don't know what they're doing? They're trained. They know. They've been attorneys for many, many years. They've seen it. So you have to prove to them why you deserve asylum. Asylum is not easy to get. And now he wants to attack immigration attorneys that help file asylums. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's going to become that they're going to go after the immigration attorneys that are helping clients, which is lovely. Right. So now you want to put the fear into the immigration attorneys that are helping fight justice. Now, let's say the judge says, you know what, I don't agree with this. we're going to go ahead and deny it. There's a process, because it's called due process, because this country is based on it.
Right.
And they shall appeal, and they will appeal to the board, and they will put more proof. And there's so many departments that do the humanitarian country conditions that just read them. Even if you don't have firsthand knowledge, just read that. Read the news articles. Go outside of this person's testimony and look, which is also provided by the attorney for the case. So asylum's not easy to get. So if someone's claiming that they're going to be hurt, believe them. Right. And don't send them back to get killed.
So you mentioned the targeting of attorneys.
Yes.
And we know that a couple of law firms have acquiesced to the administration and are doing pro bono work, up to 500,000 hours of pro bono work for him personally. As an attorney, you have a responsibility to the client,
Yes.
and to the law, first and foremost to the law.
Correct.
These companies, these organizations that have acquiesced, they've now violated some form of tenet, haven't they?
It's a tough question.
I'm loaded with them.
As an attorney, I think we have certain obligations.
Right.
Pro bono hours is something that is smiled upon.
Right.
For attorneys. When we do our attorney renewal, our registration, there is a question about pro bono hours.
Right.
Is it a requirement in order to be an attorney that you do pro bono? Not in. I'm barred in New York State. I practice federal, so I can practice anywhere, which is why I'm here.
Right.
I want to see the beach when I practice.
I'll get you a desk right here. You can just face the ocean. Yeah.
Is it a requirement? No, but these big companies, they do it because they can and they can afford to, right? So because they're going to continue paying their attorneys, but they are going to allow their attorneys to do certain things and really for the interest of justice. Do I think by doing this, are they violating? Well, let me just ask you this question then. What about the DEI requirements that are being pulled, and Walmart and Target and whatever are pulling those to conform with what the government's asking? We could ask the same question about them. Like, what have you violated now? Right? I think it's sad that you're making people make that choice. I think that lawyers are supposed to be fighting for justice and fighting for the interests of people, trying to help people that cannot help themselves. And you're kind of taking away our power. Right. You're kind of taking away our motive. And not everybody has the same motive. I'm not saying that. But for those people that want to help others that can't help themselves, you're going to try to destroy us? Is that humanity? Is that humane? Is that what our country is about? I don't think so.
I found leading up to the election, leading up to November, we heard a lot about we're going to be in a constitutional crisis, and we're there now. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Okay. And you mentioned the Supreme Court in our conversation a few minutes ago. And I know it's a 6-3, split. Mm-hmm. I just cannot let myself believe that if, in fact, they follow the law, that the 6 on the right side of the aisle, on the red side of the aisle, the 6 Supreme Court justices would not follow the law. Do you have that same confidence?
I really want to believe. I really, really, really want to believe that people will do the right thing.
Right.
But I think this last election showed that I don't think people will be
caring to do the right thing.
I think a lot of true colors have come out.
Right.
I think people believe what they want to believe. Right. I'm not going to go into further. I mean, listen, Mr. Trump is powerful. Okay, whether it comes to the presidency or not even the presidency. I mean, for goodness sakes, we've seen his history. I'm not a politician. I don't know that world firsthand. I would like to believe that justices are supposed to provide justice. I would like to believe that. Do I want to live in a false world? I did that before the last election, thinking there's no way. There's no way. And I was shocked. And I don't want to go into my future not ready for the shock, I guess. So hope for the best, but plan for the worst is kind of where we're going.
Beautifully put.
Yeah, it's sad, but I do have to have faith in people. I really do have to hope that something good is going to happen. Maybe there's a reason that all of this is happening, because at the end of the day, there's going to be good. And let's just hope that there is.
And one final thing before I let you go.
Absolutely.
Are you seeing, and I know that the clients that are coming to you must be more in fear now than they used to be. And are you seeing those numbers grow exponentially?
Absolutely. Okay. I do a lot of work with employers too, and I say that because those clients are all here legally.
Right.
They're not here illegally. They are in the process. But certain people from certain countries, it takes a very long time for them to get their green cards. They are in a lot of fear. And unfortunately, I can hold your hand. I can offer my ear. I can offer what I think. I can offer, let me explain the news. But what I can't do is give you an exact answer, because there isn't one. We have people that have no reason to worry traveling, but you hear the stories of that poor woman from a European country that has a green card and no rhyme or reason, taken to secondary inspection and being, tormented and not allowed to use the bathroom, not allowed to take medication. I mean, why? What would be the reason for that? There isn't one.
Right.
So can I tell you everything's going to be okay? I can't tell you that either, because out of every 1,000 people coming in, one has a problem, but I don't want you to be that one. So if you really want to be safe, people are not traveling. And I cannot tell you how many people are making the choice now to go back to either their home country or a different country and work remotely. I don't think I blame them. They're going to wait it out and see what happens. It hurts me deeply not to have an answer.
No. Yeah, I turn to you for a little reassurance, but I'm glad that truth is what we got.
All I can say to you is I'm here if you need me, but I don't work weekends.
Okay. Take the weekend off.
I have children that need me on the weekends. We all have to be here together,
right,
and we all have to stand together, because when they come after you first, eventually they're going to come after me too, right? Right. There's a poem of that nature, isn't there?
Well, if not, there will be.
There is. They come after someone first, they're going to come after you second.
If our listeners wanted to find you and need your help, how would they find you?
My firm is called Puri Law. I have 2 offices, but the one here in New York, you can look me up online. Okay. But my direct phone number for my office is 949-324-0542. You can also look me up online. My website is puri-law.com. They can always call you.
And they can call me. We'll have this. And if you missed any portion of this conversation, it'll be up on the website a little bit later on this afternoon. You can just dial it in and listen to it at your convenience. Richa Puri, an attorney exclusively practicing immigration law. Thank you so very much for taking the time with us today.
Thank you for having me, Ed. I really appreciate it. I appreciate talking about this. I hope everyone who has questions can get their questions answered, so there's no more fear. Right. Don't fear.
Well, let's do one thing. Let's agree to have you back and do this again.
I love it.
All right.
If I can see the beach, I'll be here all day. Then you're gonna have to try to get me to leave.
I got you. You stay as long as you want. I'll put a chair over there in the corner for you. Richa Puri, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. 12:43 the time. It's the voice of Laguna.